Hey guys, it's Carly. Welcome back to High Country Homesteading. I just got back from my second ever Azure Standard pickup, and I wanted to share some of the things that I bought right here as well as what the experience was like. So I ended up going to a different location, a drop location this time. So instead of about an hour 20 minutes north of me, it was an hour and 20 minutes south. So it was interesting to compare the two. They were very, very similar, the way that they operated. So it was basically the same thing. I pulled up to the location. We all parked around where the truck was supposed to back up, and the truck driver came. Everyone got out of the cars. We had name tags this time. So I wore my name tag, which I thought was pretty helpful. So the person in charge was able to track us down if they needed to ask us a question or to let us know that all of our order was in. So that's a little bit later. But same thing happened to where they had put tarps on the ground and then a name place for everybody's name in alphabetical order. And then we all stood in a line at the opening of the truck, and we all took turns taking boxes, reading the name on the box, and then you go put it in that person's pile where their name tag is. I don't think there's a better operation than that. It seemed to be exact same way for the two drops that I've been to now, but it still goes incredibly slow. So far in my experience, the driver is the only one who is unloading the truck, and they're just unloading boxes one by one. And I think at our drop today, we had about 40 different piles or people who were picking up. And, you know, there was a small amount in some people's piles and a lot in others. So it took a long time. So there was a huge line wrapped around the area of people willing to help. But with the driver only being able to unload boxes one at a time, it went incredibly slow. And it was, it's July. We were in the middle of a parking lot. It was very hot, very humid. You were definitely burning and needed sunscreen. And it just stinks because I don't know if it's like an Azure thing or if it's the driver's thing, whoever they work for, but that so far no one's been able to help the driver unload the boxes. Plenty of people have asked, saying if they could jump in there and help him grab things one by one, but so far both of the times they've said no, and that's unfortunate because it just makes it go slow, and it would be nice for them to have some help. So that is the one unfortunate thing about the unload process, and I honestly don't know how to make it better, but everything else seems to be the best way that you could do it. You certainly wouldn't want to be just calling out names and that one person grab their box every time. But there are very nice people helping you load your car, and when we were getting towards the end, the drop coordinator started going to each person's pile, seeing if they had everything they needed, and then would call them over and tell them that they're good to go, knowing that they didn't need to wait around anymore or keep taking out boxes that were for other people. So because my name was towards the beginning of the list, I was like the fifth one called, saying that I was good to go and didn't need to be there anymore. And then people helped me to my car and pack things in the car. So that was really nice. There was one thing that was pretty disappointing, and I'll say this about Azure, is that I really wanted, and one of the main reasons that I did this haul or this purchase this month is that I wanted to preserve peaches, and I ordered this big box of organic peaches, and at the time that I ordered it, it said it was in stock and that it was going to come and everything was fine, and I ordered it by the cutoff time for the drop. And as soon as I got the shipping confirmation email for my order, and it told me what time and what date to come pick up everything, it said that my box of peaches was basically canceled. So I guess they had run out or they couldn't fulfill my order, but everything else had shipped. And that's really disappointing because that was one of the main reasons why I made the purchase in the first place. And it's a little unfair because, say, if I hadn't gotten one of the other major things in this haul, which was big bags of flour, if that hadn't made it into this shipment as well, I would have definitely have wanted to null the entire order, which wouldn't have been possible by then. So then I would have forfeited a lot of money and a lot of product because I didn't want to make the hour and 20-minute drive. It's a big commitment, and factoring in gas and things like that into the price to make the trip worth it is really important. So that's really unfortunate that they don't tell you some way that something that you ordered is not going to make it, because then it messes up your whole entire order if that one thing was really important to you. So if this flour hadn't made it in my order, then I would have been in a really big predicament, and I would have had this like tiny haul that wasn't worth me driving and taking my family all the way, to another city. So that's something that I really don't like, and I wish there was a more efficient way to do that, and that might really put some people in a predicament. So I wish that could change, but thankfully the peaches were the only thing left out. I'll have to try to source peaches somewhere else, but I hadn't been able to find a place near me yet. But I did get a couple other things today, so I'm going to share that with you. And one more thing that I wanted to talk about was if you want to have a drop closer to you. So this is something that I have looked into and I've reached out to Azure for as well. I would really love, and I know a group of people around me would love, a drop closer. Obviously, over an hour away is pretty far to drive, and it's not something that I'm looking to do monthly at that point. So I've looked into asking whether you can have a drop closer to you. And so you can reach out and ask that of Azure. There is a minimum amount threshold that needs to be spent in order for them to consider coming to your location, which we would have reached, but it turns out that they've decided that my location and some of the cities around me is still too far away from their existing route to consider coming to. So even though we would have met the threshold, basically we're too far away from a highway that they already have a route on in order to consider coming closer to us. So that's really unfortunate. There is a group of people in my town who basically come together and take turns monthly going to the drops, and they pick up everybody's order. So like 5 or 6 people's worth of their packages. Hopefully they have a car big enough to pack them all into, but they take turns picking them up so everybody doesn't have to drive over an hour to do so every month, if that's how often they like to do it. So that's something to consider for the future. I may join one of those. I haven't yet, but it's definitely an option to look into, or maybe if you're in that same situation. So I will show you the couple of things that I did get, and we will see how we can use those in the future. So first thing I have in the haul are my big bags of grain. I have this 25-pound bag of oats. Been using oats a lot for kids' breakfasts and with baking, so we went ahead and got a big one of these. And then over here I have there's another one back there, bags, 25-pound bags of the organic all-purpose flour. So last time I got 30 pounds of the all-purpose flour, and I was pretty surprised how quickly it went. So this time I got 50 pounds. We're gonna see how long that lasts, but I think that will be a lot better. Azure does have a lot of supplements and vitamins and things like that. I was in the need for some magnesium, and this one looked like a really good price on the website. So I was glad that I picked up some of that. I did a lot of dairy this time. I said in a previous video that I'm doing more of shredding my own cheese instead of buying pre-shredded cheese at the store. So I went ahead and picked up some organic mild cheddar and then some organic mozzarella. So I'm going to shred this all up really soon, put it in some bags in the freezer, and I've really enjoyed being able to pull bags of shredded cheese out of the freezer. It's so soft and it's not feel anything like the shredded cheese that you get at the grocery store. Another thing I got was this big gallon jug of avocado oil. I use this for making homemade mayonnaise, and then I usually use avocado oil if I'm going to be frying something. So I thought having this big size on hand would be really nice. And another thing I always seem to run out is vanilla extract. So I got this 32 ounce. This will definitely last me much better than the little 1 ounce bottles that I get at the store. Vanilla extract is always so pricey. So these two things I found to be a pretty good price. Not everything on Azure's website is a great price. I can usually get them at my grocery store for cheaper. So the reason why my hauls are so small is because I really only find that a couple of things each time are actually worth it price-wise, especially when you factor in the driving to get there. I also grabbed 3 of these bottles of lemon juice because I've been doing some preserving and I want to do some more preserving, and lemon juice is a big key factor when you're going to be doing canning. So especially with those peaches, I wanted to do some canning, but we'll use these for some other projects. And then here I have 12 of these 6-ounce containers of Parmesan cheese that is already pre-shredded, but it's organic Parmesan cheese. I like this company. I got 12 of these, and I plan on putting these in the freezer as well and pulling them out. I like to use them for when I'm making gnocchi with potatoes, as well as I want to make a big batch of meatballs to put in the freezer soon, so I like having Parmesan cheese for that. So it's not a big haul. I really wish that I had that big box of organic peaches, but we're going to do what we can. So I'm going to put this flour and these oats downstairs in the basement in the big chest freezer for a couple of days, because it is possible that there's little bugs or little bug eggs in there, and the best thing to do is to freeze it, and then I will go ahead and put it in my big buckets with the gamma lids, and that's been working really great for me. And I'll shred this up. This is shelf stable, so I will put it in the cabinet. I'll freeze this, and then these can go in the pantry as well. So that is what I got for my Azure haul this time. I hope you found this helpful. My first time that I went to an Azure drop, I had heard a lot of people and seen a lot of hauls on YouTube say that they did go to a drop, but they've never explained how it actually went down or what it looked like. So I just wanted to share what my experience looked like, and so you can see for yourself what to expect. So I hope you found this helpful, and I hope that you consider subscribing. We'll probably do a couple more of these in the future, as long as everything is worth the trip. But I'm probably going to do it every couple of months, every 6 months, something like that, because it's not worth it for me, at least, to go monthly, but it is for some people. So if that's you, then maybe that's something you want to consider. So I'll leave the link to Azure in the description box below, and I will see you guys next time. Bye.